Hey, what's up everybody? Brandon here. So I know that I told you guys I was going to talk about the E-40 show like a long time ago, and I'm really sorry that I never got around to it. It's been really hard trying to actually find the right words to say so that it doesn't sound like I'm just ranting and just being petty. So I didn't really want to come off across that way. So I just wanted to take the time to really think about what I was gonna say. So I just figured that I might as well just talk about it now since it's been a long time ago and I'm not really worried about it anymore. Here's what happened. Let's start with the day of. Me and Marissa, we woke up the day of and we were very excited about it. Everything was kind of going according to plan. It was kind of a slow day before we actually had to be there. I was in contact with the guy. Let's just call him the promoter. So I was in contact with the promoter that got me the spot. So I was gonna be joining his time slot in the performance. And pretty much kind of like, I guess I would say what went wrong before the day of the event is that I wasn't told how much I was going to be performing. So I knew I was only gonna do one song.
Road, make connections, but they always say no.
That's about as much as I knew for a fact, is that I was only gonna be performing one song. A couple days before the actual event, I was told that I was only performing half of the one song that I was gonna perform. So knowing that a couple days before the event wasn't really that fair to me. Let's just keep a note of one thing. I paid $100 to perform at this event. All right, so make a note of that. I put $100 down for my slot within another person's slot. And I was under the impression that I was gonna do one full song. And then later on, a couple days before the event, I was told I was only gonna be doing half of the one song that I was told I was gonna do. So essentially I paid $100 to do 1 minute and 30 seconds of a song. So it's already a short amount of time. It was a little upsetting to know that a couple days beforehand. I wish that was told to me way before, like when I agreed to perform. But whatever. So fast forward now to the day of the event. But we get there, everything's fine. Everything was cool. We met with him in the parking lot, and I should have known something was afoot because he didn't even know what time we were going to be performing at specifically, and he also didn't know where in the lineup we were. My only problem with that is that if you're the promoter of this event and you're also performing, you should know when you are performing, and you should also know where in the lineup you're performing, so that if you have someone in your slot with you, which would be me, they would know too, so that everybody's ready. So that's number one. We didn't know what time we were going on, and we didn't know where in the lineup we were. So we walk in, we get backstage, and it's kind of like me and then a bunch of other people who are performing as well, just kind of standing around the stage. And this is probably about an hour or 2 hours before we're gonna actually go on and perform. Everybody's kind of like standing around, not knowing what's happening. A couple minutes go by, and I'm going around meeting other people at the event, other performers and DJs and stuff like that. And that was fine. Everybody was nice, but we find out that one, we're not getting a mic check, which is very, very off and it's kind of disappointing considering that E-40 is going to be at this show. It's kind of like everybody's questioning like, well, we're not getting a mic check. Is E-40 gonna get a mic check? And to this day I still don't know if he got a mic check, so I'm gonna assume he didn't get a mic check because nobody got a mic check. So they tell us we're not gonna have a mic check, and for some reason everybody's kind of okay with it. Like all these other performers and DJs are like not having a problem with that. It kind of seems like I'm the only person that has a problem with that. So fast forward to now, we're getting ready to perform. The show is going on and people are starting to come in and watch in the audience. So a couple of people start filing in, but not enough to fill the entire stadium. So it's still very early because we're the openers. So when E-40's there, it's gonna be full. We're getting ready to perform and the first act goes on. Now, I'm thinking that maybe this is part of a mic check that maybe they at the last minute said we could get, because there weren't any lights on. None of the stage lights were on. And the lighting that was in the actual building was very dim, like very dim house lights, just like bright enough for you to see the ground where people can like leave without tripping and falling. So it's very dim lighting and it's very dark in this area. And the first act was on and like we could barely see the first act performing. You can see like his silhouette performing and you hear the music, but I'd be surprised if anyone can actually see the guy performing in the audience. So that's number 3. Number 2 was that we didn't get a mic check. Number 3 is that the stage lights weren't on. There's like imagine going to performance and the stage isn't lit at all. And the only lighting there is are the house lights that are on at the beginning of the show, which those lights normally go off when the concert starts. And this is where the biggest issue that I had with this show. Remember, we were never told where in the lineup we were, and then also we weren't told at what time we were going to perform at all. It was kind of like, oh, people are coming in, let's just start, go. They called up the promoter. At this point, I kind of zoned out and I wasn't really paying attention. I just saw the guy go up to the guys kind of controlling the speakers to grab a mic. And at that point, I'm like, okay, kind of backtrack a little bit. So he told me that he was going to introduce me and I would have enough time to talk to the audience to kind of explain who I am, what my music is, and I could perform my song. So he told me that I'd be able to talk to the audience. So when the time came for us to go on, they introduced him and he went up to grab a mic to introduce himself. As he's doing this, I hear my song start playing over the speakers. I had no idea I was gonna just start performing right away. And I'm off on the side of the stage. I'm essentially backstage at this time, waiting to go on, waiting for him to announce me. And so he grabs the mic from some guy and just starts saying, oh, hey, this is my friend PQ. He's gonna go and spit something for you guys. And at this time, I'm walking around stage trying to find a mic. You know, I'm walking up to the DJ and he's looking at me. What? Like what? What's going on? What do you need? And then I told him, I'm PQ. I need a mic. I don't have a mic. It kind of just seemed like all chaos was just going on at this time because everybody's not knowing what to do. And then the promoter went up and just handed me his mic right at the moment that I was supposed to start rapping in my song. I immediately grabbed the mic and then started performing immediately without even, I didn't get a chance to talk. I didn't get a chance to introduce myself. Nothing. I'm just going in cold to this performance. So that's number 4. Because we didn't know what time we were performing, nobody was ready when it came to the time to perform. And I wasn't ready because I didn't know that we were performing already. So number 5 is while I'm performing, I start getting the sense that I can't hear myself. For some reason, I'm getting the feeling that nobody in the audience can hear me because everybody's kind of looking at me like everybody looked like they were trying really hard to hear what I was saying. And at that point, I realized my mic's going out. It got so bad that I couldn't even hear myself over the speakers. Because normally when you perform, you can hear your own voice over the speakers. So I couldn't even hear that. So that also let me know that the mic went out. And so I'm up there performing on a mic that's not working, hoping somebody hears me. While I'm performing on using this mic, the promoter comes up from behind me while I'm rapping. He comes up behind me and hands me another mic, which I just switched really fast and gave him the other mic that didn't work. So that's number 5, is that because there wasn't a mic check, the mics were going out during the performance. Number 6 is right after that. So right after he gives me the next mic to use in place of the faulty one that I had, with that mic, I can hear myself a little better. So it's still a faulty mic and I could still barely hear myself. And I'm looking around and it seemed like everybody else could barely hear me too. Yes. And so that's number 6 is, again, because of the mic checks, none of these mics were tested. So even when I was given a new mic, the new mic still didn't work. And so the song ends and it just goes immediately right into his music. And, you know, I told the audience, thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for letting me come out here. And then obviously, I mean, no one's going to clap because they couldn't even hear me for that minute and a half. And so I gave my promoter the mic, and then I walked off stage. Just, what else am I going to do? And, you know, I'm not a hype man, so I'm not going to just stay on stage and hype some guy's song that I don't even know. I walked off stage and I walked up to Marissa, and then, you know, I immediately, I looked at her and I told her, like, that didn't feel good. That didn't feel good at all. And then she even told me, she said, that kind of sucked. You know, Marissa loves my stuff. She knows that I do 110%, especially into a performance, even if it's a minute. But even she knew that this performance sucked. And not on my end, on everybody else's end. Like, everybody dropped the ball. And it made me look like I'm the one that messed up. Me and Marissa were talking backstage about it, you know, just, you know, how it sucked. But, you know, in the end, it's still a good opportunity because I got to open up for E-40, and that's really good. You know, me, a Christian rapper, got to open up for E-40. A local Fresno Christian rapper got to open up for a big name. I watched my promoter set. You know, I figured I'd give him the courtesy and respect, you know, to watch him perform. And I watched his whole show, you know, and then we told him, hey, you know, thanks for letting me be a part of this. You know, thanks for the opportunity. And yeah, those are pretty much all the pros and cons to the E-40 show. If I lost track of what they are, I'll put the pros on this side and I'll put the cons on this side, and you'll see that the pros are far less than the cons. And there were a lot of cons and a lot of problems with this show, but it's okay because I learned a lot. You know, I learned a lot about what am I willing to accept as an artist, especially a performing artist. What am I willing to accept at a show? Now, if I go to a show and I ask, hey, when do I get my mic check? And if they tell me that I'm not getting a mic check, well, then I'll tell them, hey, you know, I've had too many bad experiences of this not having a mic check. So either I'm going to get a mic check or you can find another performer. I am not willing to go through this again because it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing because you're the only one that knows that you're not wrong, but everybody else thinks that it's you. Everybody else thinks that you're the one messing up because somebody else didn't want to give you a mic check or someone else didn't want to turn the stage lights on. I just thought I'd just make this video just to clear it up for you guys and just finally tell you guys what happened. You know, I'm grateful to perform at the show, but for a show, for a name as big as E-40, I feel like a lot of more things could have been taken into consideration, not only for him, but also for the other performing artists that were there too, opening up for him. Hopefully they take note and learn because honestly, that was kind of ridiculous. I just wanted to take the time to tell you guys. I didn't want to make a big old rant about it because I'm not really in the ranting attitude that I was the day of. And that's why it took me so long to actually tell you guys what happened, because I wanted to tell you guys without acting petty and being mad while I'm talking about it. Now I'm kind of just relaxed and I don't even care. You know, I'm looking forward to the next show, whatever the next show is. Perspective is still out. It's gotten a lot of support from you guys, which I'm, you know, insanely thankful for. It's way over like 600 streams now, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So, you know, keep listening to it. You know, keep giving me your feedback too. You know, I'm trying to grow as an artist, trying to get better in lyrics and flow. So let me know what I'm doing wrong and I'll get better from it. So yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.